What's going on? It's your boy, Connor Conflict, and in today's video, we are going over the defensive free agents the Dolphins should look at this offseason. So, I have it broken down by the three levels of the defense: D-line, linebackers, secondary. So, we're going to start in the trenches with the defensive line. First and foremost, I think the Dolphins' top priority should be bringing back Emmanuel Ogbah. Agba is versatile. He plays a very, very important role in our defense. He's not a guy that, yeah, he gets sacks, but even when he's not getting sacks, he's impactful between batting balls down, just in general disrupting the passer. He's a consistent force. He's not always going to get home, but he's always going to be a factor and a threat. And he's got a great motor to where late in the game, he tends to make the big play when needed. There's a great quote after the Falcons training camp practice that he had about just like keep grinding, and eventually you're going to get there. So in my opinion, the top priority on the defensive line should be bring back Agba. He can play inside, outside, tremendous versatility. I think he's the top guy to bring back. Every single other guy I list for the defensive line is basically if we don't sign Agba back. I think the defensive line's pretty solid. You can maybe throw in another body in or outside, but overall it's a sturdy group when you figure in Wilkins, Sealer, Raekwon, Adam Butler, Jalen Phillips, Agba, Van Ginkel. You can consider D-line. So, in my opinion, it's a deep group, so I don't think there's much needed to be added. But like I said, if we get rid of Agba, then there's some names to go after. Some potential guys to replace him. I'm just going to go through the list. Jadeveon Clowney. Dolphins have shown interest in the past. Randy Gregory, if the Cowboys let him go. Uchenna Nwosu. He's not really a guy that's going to replace Agba, but he's another edge guy that could potentially come in. But my top guys, if we were to let Agba go to try and replace him with, would be Derek Barnett of the Eagles. He's former first round pick. He didn't live up to the hype, but he's slowly getting better, and he's actually a pretty solid player. JPP, I don't know if he can necessarily fit this mold. No, he can. He's older, but he's still a solid player. And then Harold Landry, I think he's a little undersized compared to Agba. He probably won't be able to do the inside techniques that he does in the 4-eye and whatnot, but overall, he's a great pass rusher. So that's it for the defensive line. Bring back Agba and we have no needs. Let me just check my phone, make sure it's not my... Alright, we're good. I'm always... combine time, I'm always on my phone just making sure that nothing crazy is happening. There's rumors that we might franchise tag Mike Gesicki, so I'm waiting for that rap bomb coming anytime. So next, linebackers. Especially with how nickel heavy the league is, you really need like two key linebackers. The Dolphins have one in Jerome Baker. We need another guy to put alongside of him. There's a couple of cats that could fill this role. And there's different ways to approach it, right? You could have Jerome Baker be the steady every down guy, and then on run downs have a run guy, and then on passing downs have a pass guy. Or you can try and get someone that can do both. So someone that could potentially do both would be Dante Hightower if he walks from the Patriots. Obviously has experience in this defense. He's a stud. More impactful as a run defender and blitzer than necessarily in pass coverage, but he's solid in pass coverage. He does a lot of that technique where they kind of play the run first, and then if it's a play action, they just run back to the crosser. He's not terrible in pass coverage, nothing to clamor over. Then Jayon Brown from the Titans, he's more of a pass coverage guy. He's very good in pass coverage. Run defense, see, I'm not going to lie. I don't go out and watch film on these guys. I feel like it'd be too time consuming. It's hard enough for me to just make a list of these guys to go out and watch film on all of them. So unfortunately, I use PFF grades in terms of run defense on this. I don't like doing that. I know when their regular grading is piss poor in my opinion, but I need some kind of basis to go over, and his run defense was not good at all. These last two names are the two guys that I'm really want us to go after 100%. I think they're the answer, and that is Alexander Johnson of the Denver Broncos. If you remember when the Dolphins played the Broncos last season, the game that Tua got pulled for Fitz, Alexander Johnson was all over the field. He's a really long, big dude, and you're like, why is he moving like that? He's like 6'5", I don't know if he's 6'5". He might be like 6'3", but he's 250. He doesn't miss tackles, and he's all around the middle of the field. So I remember I didn't know. I'm not sure if I didn't know who he was going into the game, but I just remember coming out of that game just like, wow, this guy's really really good. And I was shocked how little you hear his name get brought up, but he's a phenomenal player. He's exactly what we need. He can play the run, and he's a body in the passing game. He's got great length, so he can get into throwing lanes, and he's pretty athletic as well. The next guy I'm going to mention, basically, I feel the same exact way about Alexander Johnson as I do about Devondre Campbell with the Green Bay Packers. He had a career year last year, playing all around the ball. Great in the run game, great in the pass game, and I would say very similar to Alexander Johnson in terms of great length and athleticism. So he can play the run, he can play the pass, and be that true middle of the field, like punch your face in during the run and be able to still play the pass. Obviously, those two guys, they're big dudes, so they're not the best, most agile guys in pass protection. But in terms of or pass coverage, but in comparison to what we have on the roster, they're very very good. Even Kyle Krabs did a great breakdown on Alexander Johnson and his numbers in coverage compared to Landon. They're much different. And they're both solid tacklers too. They're just very sturdy forces in the middle of the field. I think the Dolphins need to go after Johnson or Campbell. I think they'd be tremendous for this defense. I think we wouldn't have those big gashes as often as we do sometimes. I think they'd be very sturdy forces in the middle of the field. And as for secondary, honestly, we don't have a hole. Besides, actually, let me retract that statement. I forgot Nick Needham's technically a restricted free agent. Bring back Nick Needham, and we do not have a hole on defense or in our secondary between Byron, Xavier, Nick Needham, Brandon Jones, Eric Rowe, Javon Holland. There's no holes. Obviously, there's a solid chance that Clayton Fedlam and Eric Rowe could get cut. So if that is the case, probably need to bring in a backup safety with good experience in special teams. So I would look for that. But in terms of starting caliber guys, we don't need one. So that is a good thing. So for defensively, we're pretty much set. Aside from if we don't bring back Ogbo, we need another edge rusher. We need a middle linebacker. And we just need depth. Nothing that's going to cost a lot of money. So, hey man, it's going to be an offensive heavy free agency in my opinion. Hopefully we get one of those top middle linebackers. That's my hope. And the next video is going to be me projecting. It's basically my Dolphins offseason mock. You know how people do mock drafts? I'm doing the entire offseason because it's going to start unfolding really quick, especially with the combine going on right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you comment down below if you have any questions or comments. Appreciate you guys for watching. And until next time, I'll catch y'all.